Ms. Swan. I wanted to discuss some options with you about how your daughter can use an AAC system. Now, there are two different access methods, and an access method is simply how she can choose to get her message out.
Okay.
And so our options are a direct or indirect selection. So direct selection is Lizzie would take one step to say what she wants to say. And for indirect selection, she would have multiple steps before she gets to say the message.
Okay.
So to give you a kind of real-world example, think about when you're on your computer and you're going to Microsoft Word to pull up a Word document that you've been looking at. So if you go to the folder and then you immediately get your document, that's direct selection. But if the mouse kind of scans through the different options that you have, the different documents, then and you have to wait and then click on the option, that would be scanning, or what we call indirect selection. So what I want to do with Lizzie is go through all of our different options in direct and indirect selection, doing kind of a trial and error method to figure out what would be the best for her. So what we'll do first is go through our direct method options, because those are the easiest, they're the quickest, and she'll be able to get her method or her message across to the listener the quickest. So for direct options for Lizzie, I think we should use first just a regular touch method with her finger, then a stylus, and then going along with maybe a head stick or a chin stick. So if we think about having an iPad here, she could just simply touch the touch screen, and then get the message out. So she might touch it and it would say, "Hello, how are you?" But because she does have cerebral palsy, it might be difficult for her to coordinate that motor movement into simply using her finger to touch it. But if she has something like a stylus, I'll just borrow your pen here, it might be real simple for her to get the gripping action, where she would touch it with the stylus, and then it would say the same thing, "Hello, how are you?" But if that's difficult for her, we can go to something like a head stick or a chin stick. And that's essentially just a pointer stick or like something like a stylus that is attached here to her chin or to her head, where she would move her head forward and then she would make the selection. And I'm leaving that last because it might call more attention to her in the classroom, with her being so young as 7 years old. So if and only if we exhaust all those options and they don't work for her, we'll move to scanning. And that's, remember, searching through the different options until we find the one that we want. So for Lizzie, we'll try first the jelly bean switch, then a micro light switch, and then an eyebrow raise switch. So the jelly bean switch is a nice big round button, and that's similar to a mouse pointer on a keyboard or with a computer. So because it's nice and big, she'll be able to press that, and she doesn't even have to use her hand. She could use something like her elbow or another body part. And then the micro light switch is nice because it's a little bit more discreet, and it's placed between the thumb and the pointer finger. And then after that, if those don't work, the eyebrow switch is just operated by a visor around the head, and then she would move her eyebrow muscles up. That might be a little bit difficult for her though, because of her muscle spasms. So if that doesn't work, what we hope is that something within the other options worked for her. So just to review real fast, we have the direct selection methods, which we're going to use those first before we go into our direct methods or our scanning options that take a little bit more time for Lizzie. So did that help explain how she'll be able to use despite her CP?
Yeah, I think so. You did a good job explaining that.
Thank you.